Let's go to Poolsville, Maryland, where one man's quest to rid his house of a snake infestation didn't go as planned, and instead he ridded himself of a place to live. So, you know,
I think I know what happened.
Now.
Yeah. So, according to snake experts, snakes
Just
don't.
invited him in.
Yeah. He's no place to live anymore. So, according to snake experts, snakes don't hibernate in the winter. Instead, they go into what is called brumation, where it's like a less knocked out form of hibernation for cold-blooded creatures. Like that's according to the Washington Post article and some
Like a heroin
herpetologists.
addict.
Right,
heroin
exactly.
state, yeah.
Like K-hole. They gather together to stay
They
warm.
pay the rent, but that's about it.
Yeah, they don't do anything.
Yeah. So they gather together to stay warm, many times in basements or home foundations, which is what this poor bastard was dealing with. Just a whole lot of what he said were black snakes, which are likely garter or rat snakes, according to the snake expert, huddled together in his basement. So after
in a zombie state, just a bunch of lazy snakes,
just hundreds of them.
So
occasionally,
every
whole
winter,
neighborhood.
This guy's basement becomes a snake pit.
So
yes.
One of the snakes was
It is
like,
a
he's
snake
cool
pit.
with it, and all the other snakes in town go over to this guy's house every winter.
He calls an exterminator. He's like, yeah, man, you're going to have to deal with that before March. I mean, no rush. They're cool before March, right?
Yeah, you got a couple months here.
Yeah. So I guess he had a tenant there, and the tenant was complaining that like snakes kept showing up in the house. The tenant moved out, but before he did, he tried to.
You get 2 snakes before you move out, right?
Two? Yeah,
tops.
Inside the
Two.
house,
Inside
full-size
the house.
snakes. The second one, you're looking for a new place.
Yeah, you're out.
Second one, you're calling a professional. But he didn't call a professional. This tenant, he decided he was going to use his own technique, which is smoking the snakes out. And when that didn't work, he left. And the homeowner came in, moved back in, and tried to do the same thing himself. He thought, yeah, we'll smoke them out, see? We'll smoke them out, see?
That was a great idea.
Only problem is snakes really can't smell smoke.
Pisses them off.
In this state, they're just like lethargic and just don't care about the smoke. So this guy, he put these coals in his basement and like in the smoking
Just makes
device.
it harder to see the snakes.
It just makes your house smoky.
Did he Google this or like talk to someone at the hardware store?
No way.
Where did he get
Yeah.
this
No
idea?
way.
Probably some like ranch hand down the road.
Is
I
this
don't
like a
know.
misremembered Boy Scout lesson?
They're
It's
just
just-
like villages in 1500 England. You can smoke them out.
I read it one time. I saw it one time on the internet. They said snakes hate smoke.
Smoke them out.
You can smoke anything out. You enough
right.
smoke.
Yeah, they got nostrils. I'll smoke them out.
Yes.
Grocery store, someone sees him with a bag of charcoal. Like, snakes, eh?
That guy's smoking something out. Yeah.
Yeah. But it didn't go as planned, and he left the coals next to some combustible material. And this is what you have. There's his nice home before. There's the fire.
Oh, no.
There's the real big fire.
Oh, no.
And
That's
there's
a
the
big
remnants.
That's
Yeah,
a
but the snakes are dead.
$1.5 million house. That's a $2 million house, probably in Maryland.
It was.
Huge house. Yeah, they said the damage was over $1 million, Pat. And it's just gone.
Yeah.
It's just
The
gone.
house totals. I mean, they still have the land they can rebuild, but
Right, they have the land.
He did
Yeah,
the
the
meme
snake
like if you
bog
see
that
a
it's built
spider.
on.
Yeah, he did the meme like if you see a spider in the house, you just burn the house to the ground. He just burnt his house to the ground.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
the
he burned it
snakes,
all
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
They said over 75 firemen were called to put out the blaze, but since the house was in the boonies, like there was no hydrant around, and he was just fucked. Firemen said that they did find a couple snake skins and a live snake in the rubble, so it looks like he did. He got rid of the snakes, but he lost everything in the process. So
wow.
yeah,
I wonder
That's
how many
insane.
snakes it was, because like if it wasn't like hundreds to thousands of snakes, this guy's just an idiot.
Yeah,
Really,
was
he's
it
an
a
idiot
Temple of
regardless.
Doom?
Right.
I don't know.
It
if
had
it
to
was
have been
Temple
more
of
than
Doom.
it had to have been more than 50
Right.
snakes.
He
If
can't
it's
get
not-
in the basement.
More than 50 snakes.
Mark, I think it has to be over 100 snakes.
Yeah,
honestly.
it has to be like a full layer of at least one fully
Right.
covered layer of basement snakes,
coating
if
of
not
snakes.
two.
Floor.
A coating of a
Amount
snake
of
floor. Yeah.
snakes.
Yes.
I'll tell you what happened here. Okay, so looking at this house, knowing that this is a town in Maryland I haven't heard of, which means it's probably like
Poolsville.
Okay, whatever, right?
It's like 45 minutes away from DC.
So it's rural, right? and then you
Western
look at that
Maryland
house.
somewhere or something.
That house is a big ass house, but it's
Right.
the type of house you buy if you are thinking about being an outdoorsy country type of guy. That's what it is. But it's also a nice one. It's like a nice outdoorsy country type of house.
Yes.
And this guy was really living the life. He was playing the parties. Like, he bought the house. He made a bunch of money in D.C., goes out to the country, buys his cottage, but it's a fucking big-ass fucking cottage. Maybe got some rustic finishes inside, and he felt like he was that guy. And
But
he felt
was
like
not. He was
but he
not.
couldn't
He
smoke
rent it
snakes
out.
out of the basement.
He had to rent it out though, because he didn't use it that much.
Right. He didn't use it that much, and
He's like, actually, there's a snake pit in there.
He's the type of guy that can afford, obviously not to live there since he rented it out, and can afford to hire a professional snake guy instead of taking it on himself.
Right, but
Right.
that's not why he bought the house and why he bought the boots, Mark. He was wearing his boots out
look,
there.
if it's one or two snakes, you would do that and you take care of it. If it's a snake floor and you're just going to smoke them out, someone needs to talk some sense into you.
Right,
need
you
to
got to
hire-
get a snake guy before you just try to burn your fucking house. Like,
Right.
all right, I'm just gonna do a controlled burn inside.
right.
Yeah.
Well, none of the
Then
none of
you
the
have, like,
experts.
Then you have like little snakes on fire running through the house like that. What good was that going to do?
It wasn't even a burn. None of the snake experts said that none of them have ever heard of this technique. Right. So
Right.
Not
he
the
did.
problem.
They're like, dude, you let snakes are on the floor, you fucking idiot. Smoke
Yeah.
rise. You don't
This
give
guy-
a fuck about smoke.
This guy heard this one time and it stayed with him his whole life that snakes hate smoke. He saw it like a
well,
comic
I
book or
hate
something.
smoke.
Yeah.
Well, I hate smoke, and yeah.
The Jungle Book.
No, he must have thought that he was actually
Not
gonna like
bees.
catch them on
Yeah,
fire.
they're not bees.
But does,
You know
did
what
he
he
also?
did? He watched like Indiana
hate bees
Jones
and I hate
28
snakes.
times.
Yeah, I agree, Will. He watched Indiana Jones where they
Yeah.
throw when he throws
Because
the
I think
torch.
Indiana Jones has set snakes on fire, and this guy
Yeah.
thought that he could
That's what
do
I'm saying.
the Indiana Jones.
He- Which is probably not true. I don't think snakes give a fuck about fire.
They care about fire. They don't care about smoke.
Yeah.
Right,
but-
the smoke is going over their head. every
Also,
time.
like, does he know
100%
anything
of the
about
time.
like smoke damage? Like even if he got rid of the snakes, the amount
Right.
of smoke it would take would make the house not resellable.
Right. Yeah. It's like a charcoal grill in there.
Yeah. Then the spiders come in 'cause it's all damp.
Yeah. He was using charcoal, so.
You want my roasted mansion?
He just grilled his basement.
You like campfires, big houses? I got a property.